So let's start with the first day of Advent of Code. I'm ready, I hope you are too, and let's click over here. And in these challenges you have to know that there is a lot of text and there is kind of a backstory. I don't care so much about it, so let's see the quiz or the challenge. So there is just one problem. By holding the two lists up side by side, your puzzle input, it quickly becomes clear that the lists aren't very similar. Maybe you can help the historians reconcile their lists. For example, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, and so on. Maybe the lists are only off by a small amount. To find out, pair up the numbers and measure how far apart they are. Pair up the smallest number in the left list with the smallest number in the right list, then the second smallest left number with the second smallest right number, and so on. Alright, so we have to sort these two lists first, and then we can easily compare the smallest, for example over here 1, with the smallest here, for example 3, right? Then 2 and 3 again, and 3 and 4, and so on. Within each pair, figure out how far apart the two numbers are. You will need to add up all of those distances. For example, if you pair up a 3 from the left list with a 7 from the right list, the distance apart is 4, right? Because 7 minus 3. If you pair up a 9 with a 3, the distance apart is 6. Okay? In the example list above, the pairs and distances would be as follows. Okay, the smallest number in the left list is 1, and the smallest number in the right list is 3. The distance between them is 2, right? The second smallest number in the left list is 2, and the second smallest number in the right list is another 3. The distance between them is 1. The third smallest number in both lists is 3, so the distance between them is 0. Alright. And then to find the total distance between the left list and the right list, add up the distances between all of the pairs you found. In the example above, this is 2 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5, a total distance of 11. Alright. Your actual left and right lists contain many location IDs. What is the total distance between your lists? Alright, this is the... yeah, okay, right, good. Let's see. First of all, let's open the editor. Again, you can do this in VS Code. It's up to you, right? You don't have to use Vim. cd source bin. Let's actually do it like that. It's easier. Source bin. Alright, we have first to download it, so you can do cargo scaffold 1, and this will then download. Alright, we have to be on the root of the directory. Let's try again. Cargo scaffold 1, and as you can see, it generated the necessary files. Let's also do download 1. Alright, so I've showed you in the last video. As you can see, we don't have to download it from the website, we have it automatically here. So let's see, we have over here this template, and we can basically start, right? So I will open this puzzle. It's not there. Okay, I will use the browser for now. Let's see. First of all, we want to test it on this test input, right? So let test input, and I have to copy it. This will be a string. Let's first delete over here this. And we have to do here new line. Like that. Then we have to close the string. I will make this smaller. Like that, right? So we have the test input. And you can imagine this n is for new line, so we have basically this over here in a string, right? So let's first of all iterate over this test input dot lines, right? So we iterate over every line. So you don't see it very good here, but we iterate 3, 4, then in the second iteration 4, 3, and so on. So let's store this in nums for numbers. Let's do I32 in case there are negative numbers. I don't think so, but you never know. So now each line we want to split on white space, right? So I think there is only one white space. Okay, so we have to use this split white space. We have to use this method because there are more than one white space, right, between of them. Now what the split white space does is it takes a string, for example, and it splits on the white space, right? So from this string, this method will put it in an iterator called split white space, and then when we iterate over it, we get a few words, right? And we want exactly that, but with our numbers over here. So we want 3 and 4 splitted, and this will then be put in a vector, right? So we will have like that in the first iteration. And then what we want to do is we want to filter map, right? Because we want to actually parse the numbers. So we parse every number in this line, in this case 3 and 4, we parse both of them, and then let's collect it into the vector, right? We have here a vec I32. Now let's return here some 1, just so we don't have these annoying errors. Filter map, like that, filter map. All right, and again, filter map is just basically the same as filter and then map. We can do it in one line, right? So what we then want to do is I want actually to put all of these in a vector, this column, and then this column I want to put in another vector. So let's create 2 vectors. I will call it left hand side for this and right hand side for this. So left hand side, right hand side, and let's create both of them like this. All right, and then in this iteration I will push the first number, nums 0, to the left hand side vector, and to the right hand side vector we push the second number, right, nums 1. So again, over here we had 3, 4 in the first iteration, right? We parse it, we split it, we put it in a vector, and then the first element we put it in this vector, left hand side, and the second element we put it in the other vector, right hand side, right? And I basically do that because now when we exit the loop, we can just sort both of them, right? That's basically it, because we have to compare the smallest number from here with the smallest number from here, and then the second smallest number, and so on. So all we have to do is to sort, and then we can compare it easily. Because what we then can do is we can iterate over the left hand side vector, and then we can zip. So what zip does is we have 2 vectors, or in this case, in this example, arrays, right? We iterate over the first one and then zip with an iterator over the second one. And what zip does is it will return a tuple, right? It will return a tuple, and the tuple returns the first element of this array and the first element of the other array. Then the second one with the second one from the other array, and the third element with the third element from the other array. So we have a tuple 1, 4, 1 4, 2 5, and 3 6. Right. So let's put right hand side, iterate over it, and then all we basically have to do is, again, we get a tuple from zip, and then all we have to do is, because we need the distance a minus b, we take the absolute value from that, and then all we do is we sum it, right? Because in the end we need the sum of every distance, right? So let's put this into a variable, and then we can return this variable sum, right? So what we can do is cargo solve 1, release. All right, as you can see, 11, and I guess this is right. 2 plus 1, this is 11. This is the right answer, right? So let's remove this test input and we take the real input, right? Like that. And then with this program, with this template I showed you the setup, we can actually do cargo solve 1, submit, then the first part. And as you can see, that's the right answer, and we got our first star, right? So let's continue with part 2. Your analysis only confirmed what everyone feared. Okay, blah blah blah. Here are the same example lists again: 3 4 4 3 2 5 1 3. Okay, for this example list, here is the process of finding the similarity score. The first number in the left list is 3. It appears in the right list 3 times. 1 2 3, right? So the similarity score increases by 3 times 3, 9. Okay. The second number in the left list is 4. It appears in the right list once, right? Oh, here. So the similarity score increases by 4 times 1, 4. The third number in the left list is 2. Okay, it does not appear, so 2 times 0 is 0. So for this example list, the similarity score at the end of this process is 31. So we have to again sum all of these calculations. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's open it like that. Source in. Okay. So, you know what? I take this test input, put it over here, and remove this over here, right? So test input, let's return someone, or let's return none, it's even better, like that. Okay. We have to find out how many times the elements over here appear in this. Yeah. Okay. Again, I would say we create 2 vectors, right? So we create 2 vectors, and of course let's parse it again, same style. Let numbers like U32, line split, white space, filter map. Okay, and then again we parse and dot parse. Okay, and we collect. Okay, and again same thing, we just push the first number in every iteration on left hand side, and right hand side we push the second number, right? So again same thing, we have then 2 vectors. This column, all of the numbers are in left hand side and all of these numbers are in right hand side. But now we have to do something different. So let's iterate over the left number left in left hand side, right? And we actually have to have a counter variable, right? So let's create it over here, some 0 like this, and then let's put right hand side, we iterate over it, and we have to filter. So this is the number right, the right number in the right hand side vector, and we have to compare it to the left number, right? Then all we do is we basically sum. So what we are doing is we iterate over every number in the left hand side vector. So we start at 3, right? And then we iterate over every element in this vector, and we filter, is the current number we are iterating over the same as the number in left hand side. So we are at 3, and then we iterate, okay, here is 1, and then again here is 1, and here is 1. So we get 3, right? Because we have here sum 3 times. The filter returned true 3 times. And then we add it to the sum over here. Let's do U32. Why is it complaining? Can compare. Sorry, I have to remove this bracket over here, of course. And we don't need this, I guess. Okay. And then all we do is we return the sum, right? So let's see. Cargo solve. Cargo solve 1. Release. I want to see the time. Okay. This would be the number. Let's take here test input. Okay, let's see. Cargo solve release. 31. This is correct. 31. All right. Now we can take the real input and we can submit. Cargo solve 1, submit part 2. All right, that's the right answer. This was the first day. I hope you liked it, and see you in the next one.